Hello everybody, welcome back to another Super Mario Maker 2 episode. Today I'm going to be basically showcasing you a little Zelda level I made like 4 months ago. Yeah, it's been a really long time since I even touched a Nintendo Switch. I actually literally set up my capture card because I packed it away like months ago because, again, I haven't played the Nintendo Switch in such a long time. But I want to showcase you this level, even though it's quite old. It's quite a cool level and it's kind of like Zelda themed, dungeon thing, whatever. So let's get into it. So basically, you start off here at the very beginning, and you're greeted. This is like a main room section. You got a checkpoint down there and pipes that lead you everywhere, but it's not that complicated. I designed this dungeon to be a little non-linear at times, where you can collect the red coins and the keys kind of whenever you approach them, I guess. There's no real set path, but at this beginning, even though there's a lot of options, you can go through the green pipes, hit the checkpoint, do whatever, it's quite linear. Basically, this level is too long to actually be able to beat it in 500 seconds. Unless you speedrun this extraordinarily fast, there's no way you'll be able to beat this in 500 seconds. So that's why there's a little checkpoint down here. The checkpoint will basically allow you to be able to save your progress and then die from the time, then get respawned with more time, get the key, and move on to the later parts of the level. Now with checkpoints, the red coins that you collect save over checkpoints, but not the keys or the doors you have unlocked. So that's why there's a key down there. So basically, you get the key down there and you go through one of the pipes to go later on into the level. Now, if you're starting out this level at the very beginning, without getting anything, there's not really much you can do going through the pipes. All the doors here lead to locked doors, and you don't have any keys, so you can't actually get through anything. You go to the top pipe, again, you'll be greeted by an awesome locked door that literally takes you nowhere, so yeah, there's nothing you can do going through the pipes. So meaning that this first section is quite linear. What you're supposed to do is do this with the seesaw, ignite the bomb, which will trigger off the on and off switch, and then you blow up the wall and you reveal the next part of the section. In this puzzle room, basically, it's also quite linear. You're supposed to hit the on and off, hit the little question mark block there, and then hit this little bomb thing so that it will explode the blocks up there, and you'll get into the later parts of the level. Now over here is like, I guess, your first path, you know, your first choose away, except it really isn't that complicated. Going to the left here, to ignite a bomb. Going to the left here will reward you with 1 red coin after you do this little challenge, which, it's sort of hard, I guess. It actually is not the easiest thing to do in the world, but... Oh, okay, I'm bad at this game. Ignore that. This isn't the easiest thing to do in the world, but yeah, you get a red coin. By the way, yes, you need all 10 red coins to actually beat the level. And then after that, you can go over to this side of the room, where you can, I literally pressed the Y button, that did not work. Okay, you can explode that door there, which will take you on to the later part of the level. I don't really care, I'm in the editor. Which will take you to a Larry boss fight. There aren't any Zelda-themed boss fights, so I have to deal with Larry, which is fine because I don't really care about Zelda. So you get the key there, which will unlock this key door, which will take you to this little room here. You get a little jump scare here because you immediately have to go up to avoid that massive saw thing, whatever you call it. And then over here, there's a little invisible block, except it's not really that invisible because I did mark it out with this, which will activate a little P-switch down there. What you're supposed to do here is, the green pipes basically indicate you go to the next subsection, while the red pipes are just to give up the power out. Basically what you're supposed to do here is get good at the game and actually hit the P-switch using an arrow. Hit the P-switch and immediately move on to the next subsection, where there's a little P-switch block that gets deactivated, giving you a key, which you'll need later on. That's pretty much it with that puzzle. It's a little bit confusing because you actually have to transition subsections, and I was going to intend on it using an Easter egg, but then I just put it into the final game, so oh well. Over here you can get the next key by blowing up this wall, which will get you to another minigame here. It's not a really hard minigame. All you need to... It's actually a red coin on a switch, I'm an idiot. Basically all you need to do is just hit the on and off switch and let the Goomba get the little... And get the Goomba to the very end where we hit a note block, and you'll be able to do all this fun stuff. It's not the hardest puzzle in the world because it's not the tight spaces, but you get the red coin and you're done with this little puzzle. You can hit this little thing, which will spawn a little vine up there. You move on to the top section where you get more power-ups, and you can use your first key. Next to... Okay, not yet. Basically, you have to get rid of these things, which are really annoying, actually, so I'm just gonna ignore them, actually, because they're really annoying to deal with. Then over here is just some little platforming, because who doesn't love platforming? It really isn't that difficult, because I don't want to make this the hardest level in the world. And after this, I think you go through this part. I actually forgot, this is quite confusing. You can go through here. What does this lead to? Literally nothing. You go through here, or you're supposed to blow up this wall. There's the two pipes actually lead to the same location. One of them go up there, or the other one goes down here to this massive lift chamber. This is like a little central room where you can literally just go wherever you want. It's a little bit also non-linear in the fashion way. If you go through the left here where there's a little arrow, you go back to the other subsection where you just be going in loops. Going to the right, he will reward you with red coins, which you also need to go to the very end. So there's a red coin down there if you blow up this section of the wall. Going up, you get a little thing that shoots out spike walls. Go through here, you can get another key. But this puzzle's actually really cool in my opinion. Basically, you actually have to ride the snake block and immediately hit the question mark block. So the Goomba actually rides the snake block and he'll reward you with a key. And since you're supposed to be Link, you can blow up the bottom part there, where you get to meet with a bunch of wiggly worm things, which is not really a challenge. It is sort of a challenge. You have to use the platform to go over them, and you get another red coin down there. That's actually really much it to this section, because since you get the key from there, you can go back into the other subsection here, and use the key on this door, which will take you to up here, which is the second mini-boss of the entire level. I forgot whose name is this. I think it's Iggy or something like that. I forgot. But basically this boss fight is literally the same premise. All you have to do is just kill it to get... Literally, actually no. You don't actually get anything for killing it, but this is again another central lift chamber thing. Where it takes you to a bunch of different areas, so killing it is kind of necessary a little bit. It's not the hardest boss fight again in the world because I didn't design these things to be hard, but you are on a seesaw, which gets really annoying sometimes. But all that, you can go to the very top and get your next red coin, which is all the way out at the very top. So kind of killing the boss fight is necessary to get the red coin, but you technically don't have to because you don't get rewarded for killing it. After this though, there are a lot of paths to the right here, which will lead you to these massive platforming challenges where you can actually basically get red coins. So over here, there's different levels. You go to the left here. But over here, the music's still playing for some reason. You can go up here, do some platforming up here, do this fun little vine platforming thing, and get yourself a red coin. After that, you go down one more level. You can actually just cheat by doing that. But you do this next platforming section where you have to avoid the these things, which you can do this for, which is kind of cool, I guess. It can get quite... oh god, yeah, this can actually get quite... this actually does get difficult as hell, because, yeah, this actually gets quite difficult. That's why I put a little more power up here midway through, because it does get difficult, and, yeah, there's so much to look at, by the way, looking through here. So, you go through here, and then you're supposed to get the thing by throwing an arrow at it, but I'm bad at this game. But that's your next red coin. Then, after you get those 2 red coins, you can go all the way up here to the very top here, where, again, if you go through up here and do this little saw thing, you can get enough height. It's actually also, yes, a little difficult platforming. We have to use not a saw, but seesaw to basically fit yourself into position so that you can get into that gap. Here you have to tilt it very far to get enough height there. Over here it's just fitting into the gap to get your last red coin. You blow up this section of the wall. I don't know why I like blowing things up, but yeah. You trigger on and off switch if you wanted to. Over here is a little P switch here, which I think leads you to a bonus game. If you go through this pipe, it leads you to a bonus game. Oh, it leads you all the way back to the beginning of the level. Okay, yeah, it's been a while since I literally played this. How do I do this? Help me. How do I get to the bottom? God damn it. I want to switch subsections. Damn, this is stupid. But, yeah, there's a little bonus game. I think the P-switch has something to do with activating it. So basically, this bonus game, it literally just gives you 1-ups because there's literally nothing else I could give you. So, all you really need to do with this bonus game is you just collect things. You just collect them, and they go in random order, so it's completely randomized, and its positions because of the on and off switch randomly changing every so often, which change up the track, so it's a little bit hard to guess where they come. Why I don't know what ups, what the fuck? There's supposed to be like 15 of them, what happened to them? Yeah, there's supposed to be all this. I don't know what happened, why they're not spawning, but yeah, it's supposed to do this. There's really nothing else I could give you, so it's just 1-ups. And over here's your last checkpoint, because it is up to the boss fight. You go through this door and you go to the very final boss. which is just Bowser and Mini Bowser. I forgot you can't jump on Bowser. It's literally just the two of them because, again, there's nothing I could really do. There's nothing I could really do here because, nothing. Basically, the on and off switch there basically activates the power up just in case you're too bad at this game to beat it without getting hit, which is me. It actually isn't the easiest boss fight to do in the world because you got two of these idiots here. See, I'm not the best at that, but if you beat them, you go to the locked door, you get transported up to this room, and it's basically the very end. And you get to the very end, which is this very final room. And to test to see if you actually did the boss fight properly, you're supposed to be Link and blow up all this. I'm not, so I can't do any of it. But yeah, there's a bunch of coins if you care about collecting coins, and then you get to the very end of the level. It doesn't seem like a long level, but trust me, this is a very long level. You have to collect every single key and every single red coin to actually beat the level, so it is actually quite long. A normal playthrough of this would take you more than 10 minutes, which is more than 500 seconds. Basically how I designed the level, these are basically just screens. You can lock the screen if you place blocks that surround the entire screen you can place blocks to cover up the entire screen, which will lock the screen in place until the blocks are broken. So that's why there's a lot of these breakable blocks you need to use bombs for, because it's there so that the screen could lock, but once you blow it up, it'll move over with you. And it doesn't seem too long, but it actually is quite long. There's a lot of backtracking and a lot of weird puzzles here and there. Like this weird puzzle I forgot to talk about, where what you're supposed to do here is get a Koopa, or whatever the hell this is called, and you're supposed to basically get them up to the very top there by stomping on them, letting them just go across, basically. It isn't the easiest thing to do in the world. They do wake up after a little bit. There we go. Wake up! Okay, there we go. Activate a bomb, which will trigger an on and off switch, which should get you the red coin that's all the way up here. That's kind of hiding in my opinion, which is a little bit mean in my opinion because I literally almost forgot about it. But yeah, there's a red coin there. That's pretty much it to the level actually. I don't think this pipe works. Yes, doesn't actually work. And this is also another room. It's one of the final rooms. It's just these three magic Koopa things, whatever you call them. They're really annoying to deal with, so that's why I put like 4 of them. They're really annoying to deal with, so yeah, you have to kill them. Into the next subsection over here. The next subsection is also fully maxed out except the top 2 screens, because the boss, I don't know why, but with vertical subsections, they don't lock. I don't know why, but I've did everything accordingly, but they just don't lock properly. Like, this screen is supposed to lock because every single block is filled, but it just doesn't. So that's why I didn't really care, and that's why I had to waste screens over here. Because since the screens don't lock, if I put a screen over here, or over here for example, the Bowsers would shoot their fire and basically intrude on the other screens, which is not very good indeed, so that's why I couldn't use either of this screen. The top screen could have been used, but there wasn't much up here anyways, and I didn't really want to build anything else. But yeah, this is also the vertical subsections with the 1-up game, this empty room that leads to the boss fight, last room here, a puzzle, this massive lift chamber with the boss fight I was talking about. It spans pretty much most of this section actually. There's like 5 screens worth of or 6 screens of just this one boss fight and the central chamber. And you got more of this and more of that. So it is actually quite a linear level indeed. There's not actually too much non-linearity. Like, there's not too much choosing your own pathway. You do follow a set path, but I guess during these massive lift chambers, you can kind of get the coins in whatever order you want. But, basically, let's talk about how the checkpoint at the very beginning works. So with checkpoints, if you put them halfway through a semi-solid, basically, if you put a checkpoint halfway through a semi-solid, that means that on the first attempt, when you actually get the checkpoint, nothing happens. See, you'll get the checkpoint and you'll still be stuck on the top layer, but when you die and respawn, you'll actually be transported to the bottom of the checkpoint, and since it's halfway through the semi-solid, you'll fall down, and that's where you get the key, which you can use for a later section. I put an arrow down here because it's the closest to get to the end, because you use the key up here, which will immediately take you to the boss fight, I'm assuming, or to this, yeah, it immediately takes you to the boss fight. And yeah, that's the only checkpoint for the whole level. The last checkpoint is just for the boss fight. So that is the very furthest you can save up to. Once you go past there, you have to restart from there. The last checkpoint is just for the boss fight, so not much use you could do with this checkpoint. But no, this does take a very long time to do, because there's like about 5 keys you have to collect in total, which does take a... I'm just gonna spam the Y button. Yeah, it does close. The thing does close occasionally, so there's actually some skill needed to play this instead of just hogging the power up every 2 seconds. Gaming, 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 gaming. Gaming, no, okay. We're almost gaming. So yeah, that's basically how I built this dungeon style level. It's just a bunch of screens and a bunch of puzzles. I guess the hardest thing to actually do with this level is the level layout itself, making sure that the player can't just skip half the level, which also brings up to my last point here. There's a secret way to the level. The reason why there's a secret way, because I wouldn't be able to upload this level using checkpoints. The thing is, when you want to upload a level, you have to beat the level without using any checkpoints at all. So basically, there's this secret thing where if you hit these invisible blocks like an idiot here, you can actually just beat the level by going over the semi-solids and going through the door, which will take you to the very end. I really disliked it a lot because it really sucked. It doesn't actually take you to the very end; it only takes you to the boss fight. You actually have to do the boss fight even if you cheat. So you still do need some skill, but not very much of it. But yeah, the reason why I had to put a secret way is just it's impossible to beat the level in under 500 seconds without using checkpoints. The checkpoints are there to make you be able to use more time up and saving your progress, but yeah, that's why the secret way exists. It sucks. I wish I didn't have to do it, but it's kind of hidden away actually, so no one should be able to see it, unless they're just randomly jumping around, because even if they scroll the screen all the way far up by jumping, they wouldn't be able to see the hidden semi-solid down there. They wouldn't be able to see the semi-solid. That's clearly not there. But yeah, that's pretty much how I made this level. It's not too much in it. It's just a lot of planning and designing had to take into effect to make this level happen, because making sure the player doesn't skip half the level, making sure the player has the right coins and the right keys at the right time. If the player has too many keys, they can just bypass everything. If the player doesn't have enough keys, then they're stuck completely. Making sure that nitpicky stuff is all working, but other than that, that's pretty much it with this level I made. You can play it, the ID's in the description if you want to check it out, and yeah, that's pretty much it to this video. See ya!